Hello everybody, I'm going to share today's learning objective with you. Today we are going to learn how to understand how to solve two-step problems. Okay, so it's an understanding lesson. The first thing you're going to need to be able to do is recognise a two-step problem. The second thing you're going to need to be able to do is identify the first and second step. And then finally, represent the problem in a bar model. So, first of all, what do I mean by a two-step problem? A two-step problem is a problem where you have two things that you've got to do. So that could be any of these four operations. So we call these operations addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Today, we're just going to be looking at addition and subtraction. So in a two-step problem, there will be two things you need to do. So there'll be the first step where you need to either add or subtract. And there'll be another step then where you need to either add or subtract. So what we have to do when we're looking at a two-step problem is work out what those steps are so that we know what the answer is. So let me show you an example. John buys 12 pencils one week and 7 the following week. He gives 3 pencils to his friends. How many pencils does he have left? So there are two steps here. John buys 12 pencils one week and 7 pencils the following week. So if he buys them, that means he gains them, he's got them. So 12 pencils and 7 pencils. So he ends up with a certain number of pencils. So that's the first step, is to find out how many pencils he's got. So the first step is to find out how many pencils he's got. So we need to add. And then the second step, step 2, is to find out how many pencils he has left when he gives 3 of them away. So we know that that's subtraction because it's got that word left and he's giving some away. He's giving an amount away, which is the same as taking away. So that's an example of a two-step problem where we have two things that we've got to do. Now, the first success criteria was to be able to identify whether it's a two-step problem or a one-step problem. So here are some problems. I'm going to read them to you and I want you to write down whether you think they are a one-step problem or a two-step problem. Okay, so let's start with the green one. Jessica had 25 coins. She lost 5 on her way home and gave 6 to her friend. How many coins does she have left? So think about whether that's one step or two step and write it down now. Have you done that? Well done. Okay, the purple one. The goats ate 2 buckets of food on Monday and 3 buckets of food by Friday. How many buckets of food did they eat altogether? Is that one step or two step? Write it down. Have you done that? Well done. Let's look at the blue one. There are 26 children in Butterfly's class and 25 children in Dragonfly's class. How many children are there in year 2? Is that one step or two step? Write it down. Have you done that? Well done. Let's look at the red one now. A gardener was selling plants. He sold 20 in the morning, 15 in the afternoon, and had 20 left at the end of the day. How many plants did he start with? Write down whether it's one step or two step. Have you done that? Well done. So hopefully you realise that the two-step problems were this one and this one. Because in these two, there's only one thing that we need to do. So the goats ate 2 buckets of food on Monday and 3 buckets by Friday. How many did they eat altogether? So there's only one thing that we need to do there, which is add those together to find out how much they had eaten altogether. And with the children, if there's 26 children in butterflies and 25 children in dragonflies, how many children are there in year 2 altogether? We just need to add again. So it's one thing that we've got to do. So now let's have a look at these problems, and I will show you how we can solve them and how we can identify what the steps are. So today we are just looking at how we can identify what the steps are and how we can represent the problem. I'm not too worried about us solving the problem today. I just want us to understand what it is that we've got to do. So one of the things that's really useful is to draw out the problem. If we draw out the problem, it helps us to understand what it is we've got to do. So let me show you. Start by reading it again. Jessica had 25 coins. So I'm going to draw that. I'm not going to bother drawing out 25. I'm just going to draw a little bag of money. And I'm going to write the number 25 on it. So I remember she's got 25 of them. So I've drawn that information there that Jessica had 25 coins. Now I'm going to read the next bit. She lost 5 on her way home. So if she's lost 5, are we adding? Is she getting more, or is an amount being taken away? Well done. An amount is being taken away because she's lost it. So I'm going to just draw an arrow because an amount has gone from that. And I'm going to say she's lost, she'd take away 5. 5 have been taken away. Then she gave 6 to her friend. She gave 6 to her friend. So then we need to think about the next step here. She gave 6 to her friend. So that word gave, does that suggest that she's getting more or that a number is being taken away? Well done, it's being taken away. So we can do take away 6 again. And then the question is, how many coins does she have left? So we want to know how many she has once those amounts have been taken away. So the first step is to take away 5, and the second step is to take away 6 from that amount. So we've identified the steps in the problem. If you are ready for a bit of a challenge and you want to think about how to represent that in a bar model, I will show you how we will do that. So in the bar model, the top of our bar is going to be the number, the total number, the number that was started with. We know that the 25 coins were there at the beginning. So there were 25 coins. That's the minuend. That's the number that was started with before any subtraction took place. And then we know that there are going to be 3 numbers that make 25. One of those numbers is 5 because 5 have been taken away. One of those numbers is 6 because 6 has been taken away. And the other number is the number that we are left with at the end. So there's a question mark. So that's how we would represent that problem in the bar model. So if we added 5 and 6 and the question mark together, we would end up with 25. Okay, so that's how you could represent that problem in the bar model. Don't worry too much if you don't quite understand that in the bar model. The bar model gets more complicated when we have 2 steps to do. But if you do understand it, it's great to have a go and practice using it today. So there is another way that we could solve that problem. If we look at our bar model, we could do 25 take away 5 and then 25 take away 6. Can you spot another way that we could do that? Pause the video now and have a think. Have you had a think? Well done. So we could do, if we add 5 and 6 together, then that will give us this part of the bar. So 25 add 5 add 6, 5 add 6 equals 11. Okay, so then we've got this part of the bar. We know that this part of the bar is 11. So then it goes back to our bar that we're used to. So if I rub that out and put 11 in here, then we know that we can start with 25 and take away 11 to get our question mark. So our first step could be to do 5 add 6, and our second step could be 25 take away 11. And that would be the answer. Okay. Now, again, don't worry if you don't understand this bit. That's fine. This is going to be challenge 2 today. If you're happy with the drawing part, then just stick with that part for the next part of the lesson. Let's have a go at the next one. Okay. A gardener was selling plants. He sold 20 in the morning, 15 in the afternoon, and had 20 left at the end of the day. How many plants did he start with? Pause the video now and see if you can draw out the problem to help you identify what you've got to do. Off you go. Have you done that? Well done. So this is how I drew the problem. A gardener was selling plants. So I'm just going to draw a box with a flower in it. Okay, so he's selling plants. He sold 20 in the morning. So if he sold 20, is he getting more or is an amount being taken away? Well done, an amount is being taken away. So I'm going to draw an arrow and write 20. And if I know it's being taken away, I'll put subtract there to help me remember. 15 in the afternoon. So that means he sold 15 more in the afternoon. So if he sold some more, then that means that another amount is being taken away. So I'll put minus, take away 15. And then he had 20 left at the end of the day. So that means at the end of the day, there were 20 plants left. We want to know how many plants did he start with? So the question mark is here at the beginning. So now you can see we've got a missing number problem. Question mark, take away 20, take away 15 equals 20. So we know that we've got to use the inverse to find that out. We've got to reverse this bit. So we need to add 20 and add 15. Okay. If you feel that you'd like to have a go at representing that in a bar model, then pause the video now and have a go. If not, you can just carry on with the video. Okay, have you done that? Have you had a look at how to do that in a bar model? So we know that the number of plants he started with is the number that we don't yet know. So that's the question mark at the top. That's the number that we don't know. But we know that 3 numbers make that number. make that total. He was left with 20 at the end. So that is an amount that he had. He sold 20. So if we put 20 in there too, then that is going to add up to the total. And he sold 15. So we know that 20, 20 and 15 will equal the total. So if we add those three numbers together, we're going to get the total amount of plants that he had to start with. Okay, now it's time for you to choose a challenge. So challenge 1, you are going to have a look at the word problems on the class page, and I'd like you to identify the operations that you need to use for each word problem by drawing a picture to represent the problem. So just like we were doing here, drawing the picture to show what you have to do in the problem, okay? If you'd like some more support with that, there's another video you can watch which will show you how to do it step by step. Challenge 2 is to identify the operations that you need to use in each word problem and then represent the problem in a bar model. So just like we did here, you can draw it out first if that helps you, and then put it in, represent it in a bar model to show where the question mark is. And challenge 3 is to do all of that, but justify your representation. How do you know that that is correct? If I changed it and put, if I changed it and put the question 15 up here, and the question mark here, why would that be wrong? So you have to really think about it and justify, really explain why your representation is accurate. Why is that correct? Okay. If you would like to have a go at the optional extension at the end of the lesson, here is a problem for you to solve. On a farm, there were some hens and sheep. Altogether, there were 8 heads and 22 feet. How many hens were there? So you need to try and work out the steps that you would need to be able to do for that question. What operations would you have to do to work that out? And again, how could that be represented in a bar model? So you could have a little think about that and have a go for the optional extension. Okay, good luck everybody. I can't wait to see how you get on with identifying 2 steps in a problem. Don't worry if you're finding it tricky, you can always watch the support video which is on the class page, and that will help you. Otherwise, have a go and see how you do. Good luck, I can't wait to see your work. Bye.